At some stage in every man's life, he will encounter trials that feel specifically engineered to shatter him. The devastating loss of something dearly cherished, the postponement of a cherished dream, or a setback so overwhelming that it threatens to extinguish his spirit. In these daunting moments, a profound question often arises from deep within. How do I continue? It is during these times, when everything seems to be collapsing, that the true essence of success is unveiled. Success is not merely a function of skills, resources, background, or education. Rather, it lies in one powerful, though often unseen force: your mental attitude. A positive mental attitude, PMA, is not merely a phrase for the weak-minded or the excessively optimistic. On the contrary, it serves as the bedrock of all enduring achievements. I am not implying a superficial cheerfulness or an uncritical hope. I speak of an attitude that stands firm in the face of defeat, one that recognizes adversity as a pathway to opportunity and embraces the unwavering belief that, no matter what obstacles arise, I will rise. Let us confront the truth. Life is inherently challenging, and success does not materialize simply because one wishes for it. This is precisely why PMA is crucial. It transforms suffering into purpose. It takes experiences that could have brought destruction and reshapes them into the very catalysts for greatness. While PMA does not eliminate hardship, it redefines it, providing you with the strength to see possibilities where others see only despair. Every setback, every failure, and every heartbreak carries within it the seed of a benefit equal to or greater than the pain it inflicts. This is not merely a poetic notion. It is an invaluable practical truth, a compass that guides us forward when we feel lost. The man who can identify that seed even when cloaked in darkness is the true victor. He is the one who perseveres when others surrender. So, how does one cultivate this positive mental attitude? How can you hold your head high when your world appears to be unraveling? The first step is to embrace a fundamental truth. Your attitude is a conscious choice. No one can bestow it upon you, nor can anyone strip it away. Certainly, circumstances may influence your mindset, but in the end, you are in command of your attitude. If you do not exert that command, you are, in effect, relinquishing it. Begin each day with a resolute decision, a decision to perceive the good in what may initially seem bad, to communicate with power even when you feel powerless, and to concentrate solely on what lies within your control while releasing what does not. That is the essence of a positive mental attitude. PMA does not advocate for ignoring reality. Rather, it encourages you to confront it head-on and select your response with both strength and wisdom. Yes, this situation is difficult, but I am more resilient. This problem is indeed real, but so too is my sense of purpose. I refuse to be shattered. I will be strengthened. When a man adopts this mindset, he becomes an unstoppable force. Life may bend him, but it will never break him, for he understands that the more arduous the battle, the greater the potential for growth. Trials are not mere punishments, they are preparations, the fires in which the tools of greatness are forged. However, developing a PMA is not an instantaneous process. It is cultivated through daily decisions. When life's journey is smooth, take the time to train your mind so that when challenges arise, you are well prepared. Just as an athlete strengthens his body through resistance, so too must you fortify your mind through resilient thinking. Learn to see obstacles not as foes, but as opportunities for growth. Let me assure you that this is not mere theory. It is the principle that propelled me from the depths of poverty to a life filled with purpose. I began with nothing, armed with every reason to doubt and an abundance of excuses to complain. Yet, I uncovered a secret, one that holds extraordinary power: the ability to control my thoughts. I started to train my mind, to craft my internal dialogue, and over time, those thoughts transformed my reality. Every successful individual I have studied, be it a prosperous entrepreneur, a visionary leader, an innovative inventor, or a creative genius, shared this singular trait in common. They maintained their belief even when logic suggested otherwise. They persisted in the face of apparent stagnation, and they safeguarded their minds as if they were nurturing the fertile soil from which their destinies would blossom. Now, I ask you, are you doing the same? Are you vigilant about your words? Are you steering your focus? Are you opting for gratitude instead of grievance, faith in lieu of fear, and growth over comfort? If not, you are relinquishing your most valuable weapon. You must cultivate relentless mental discipline. Just as you would not welcome a thief into your home, do not permit negative, destructive thoughts to infiltrate your mind. They will rob you of your energy, cloud your clarity, and, most tragically, they will persuade you to settle for a life that falls far short of your true potential. A positive mental attitude serves as your guard, your shield, and your sword. It enables you to traverse tumultuous waters without being overwhelmed, to experience betrayal without succumbing to bitterness, and to endure loss while still believing in future victory. Furthermore, know this: belief is the fuel of action. A man who lacks belief will falter. He will waver, delay, and doubt. However, belief rooted in a positive mental attitude empowers a man to be bold, to be resilient, and to become a formidable adversary to anything that threatens his dreams. Let us clarify this point. PMA is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is essential. Without it, talent remains dormant, visions blur, and plans unravel. Yet, with a positive mindset, even the tiniest of individuals can tower like giants, and even the most fractured stories can give rise to immense strength. And here is another truth to embrace: hardship is not indicative of failure. Often, it serves as evidence that you are being molded for something greater. Do not misinterpret your trials. Do not curse the journey. Understand its purpose. You are being stretched to meet your destiny's demands. You are being challenged because comfort nurtures no champions, and you are being humbled to protect you from the dangerous allure of pride when your blessings arrive. A positive mental attitude permits you to scrutinize each challenge with wisdom. It transforms questions like, "Why me?" into reflections like, "What is this teaching me?" It shifts, "I can't endure this," into, "This is preparing me," and changes, "I failed," into, "I have learned." That shift is paramount. It is the alchemy of the mind. Make no mistake, this power is yours by right. You do not require permission to harness it, nor must you await favorable circumstances to begin. You need only one decisive choice: a resolute determination to master your attitude. You will no longer assign blame to others for your mindset, nor will you allow outside conditions to dictate your emotional state. From this moment forward, you will lead with strength, speak with belief, and think with intention. You will elevate your vision beyond your excuses and maintain a standard that eclipses your struggles. You will conduct yourself as a man who recognizes that his internal resolve is far superior to the challenges he faces externally. Because you are not merely flesh and blood, you are purpose enveloped in perseverance. You are resilience wrapped in resolve, and your positive mental attitude serves as the ignition switch that activates this entire potential within you. So, what will you do next? Will you revert back to skepticism? Will you surrender to complaints? Will you allow your emotions to dictate your efforts? Or will you rise? Will you make the transformative decision that you will no longer be a victim of your moods, your environment, or your pain? Let today be the day you draw a firm line in the sand. Let this hour mark the moment your mind becomes your fortress. Let this be the instance when you proclaim, enough, enough defeat, enough delay, enough doubt. From this point forward, I am a man of focus, of faith, and of fire. I may fall, but I will rise swiftly. I may face pain, but I will transmute it into power. I will be tested, but I will prevail. Not because life is easy, but because my attitude is resolute. This is the man you must grow into, and this is the life that awaits you on the other side of your commitment to live with a positive mental attitude, regardless of the circumstances that arise. Having recognized the unbreakable power of a positive mental attitude, let us delve deeper into how it functions across the most vital areas of your existence. Theoretical knowledge becomes insignificant if it doesn't translate into genuine, enduring transformation. When correctly harnessed, the mind does not merely endure hardships, it extracts greatness from them. The individual who consistently trains himself to do this masters any circumstance. I urge you to examine the thoughts that dominate your mind when faced with challenges. Do you retreat, blaming yourself, surrendering to defeat? Or do you reflect, drawing strength and wisdom from the experience? Do you shrink into fear, or do you expand into faith? These questions are crucial because your habitual responses shape the reality you live in. If you are dissatisfied with your life, you must elevate your attitude and refine your mindset. You cannot construct a life of excellence on a foundation built from anxiety. You cannot gather momentum while persistently doubting your abilities. That is why a fleeting attempt at positivity is insufficient. You need to train yourself to embody positivity consistently, deliberately, and unwaveringly. A positive mental attitude originates from one fundamental belief: your mind possesses power that transcends your circumstances. Your thoughts shape your perspective, and your perspective in turn shapes your outcomes. Two men may face identical hardships. One succumbs to defeat, while the other rises with renewed strength. The distinguishing factor? Not the event itself, but the attitude brought to that event. You might argue, but Napoleon, I am grappling with real loss, real stress, real betrayal. I do not dismiss your emotional turmoil, but I challenge you to embrace empowerment over self-pity. If you perceive the external world as determining your internal state, you have already surrendered your most sacred power. However, if you claim the truth that your attitude can transform your experiences, then no challenge can defeat you. It will only serve to unveil your true potential. This journey does not entail denying difficulties. It consists of harnessing those difficulties as fuel, the coal that ignites the furnace of your will. When you modify your attitude towards adversity, you enhance your capacity to derive value from it. The most accomplished individuals are not those who have skirted hardship. Rather, they are the ones who have transformed it, turning ashes into fire, pressure into diamonds. This is your mission. It explains why life is testing you, not to break you, but to awaken you, to strengthen you, to forge a character so formidable that no storm can shake its foundation. However, this miracle does not occur automatically. The mind must be trained. Like any discipline, repetition is critical. You must adopt the language of empowerment until it feels instinctive. You must think thoughts of greatness until your mind begins to accept them effortlessly. This process is challenging, but few are willing to sacrifice the comfort of complaint or the inertia of explanation. Not you. You have recognized the truth. The world will change when you decide to change. Opportunities will multiply when you expand your vision, and favor will flow when you open the gates with your attitude. If you want the world to respond differently to you, then you must begin responding differently to the world. Life does not await a transformation. It awaits your command, articulated through the right mindset. Let me share something that may surprise you. A positive mental attitude is not always loud or boisterous. Sometimes it manifests in quiet strength. It is the calm assurance that states, "I will not be defeated." It does not always shout enthusiasm. Often it requires endurance. It is the inner voice that speaks tranquility amidst turmoil, one that endures when others falter, that seeks illumination when darkness threatens to overwhelm. This is a frequently misunderstood truth. Many assume positivity consists solely of cheerfulness and smiles. However, true PMA is forged in the crucible of adversity. It emerges amidst chaos, through thick clouds of doubt, and yet chooses to embrace belief. That is genuine strength, the kind that constructs an unshakable life. You may wonder, how can you access this strength when you feel weak? You start from where you are, utilizing what you have. You do not wait for your feelings to shift. Instead, you act as though they are changing. Action dictates emotion, and repeated actions shape emotional responses. When you conduct yourself as if you already believe, that belief naturally begins to flourish. When you express power even in your state of helplessness, your subconscious aligns with that power. As it does, your behavior, decisions, and ultimately your destiny will change. So, take baby steps each day towards cultivating this mental habit. Speak gratitude, even and especially amidst pain. Gratitude is the antidote to fear. It rewires neural pathways to discover opportunity where once only obstacles seem to exist. Speak affirmations, not hollow flattery, but grounded truths rooted in your potential. Affirm, "I am capable. I am focused. I am strong. I am progressing." Speak these truths not necessarily because they are always felt, but because you are training yourself to feel them. Physically manifest your strength. It is impossible to maintain a weak posture and feel empowered. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and walk with intent. These practices send signals to your brain, affirming that you are not defeated and that you are firmly in control. Surround yourself with supportive individuals. A positive mental attitude cannot flourish in a toxic environment. Choose friends who energize you, who challenge your limitations, and who reflect your best self back to you, while consciously distancing yourself from negative influences, whether they be on social media, through messages, or even within your own family. You need not harbor ill will toward them, yet you must guard your mental space fiercely, for your future depends on it. You possess a garden in your mind, and every seed allowed in through conversation, media, and self-talk either nourishes fruits or concocts weeds. Be relentless in what you permit to grow, because the harvest will determine the quality of your life. Let's not overlook that PMA is not only concerned with triumphing over personal challenges. It is also about emerging as a beacon for others. When you embody a positive mental attitude, you become magnetic. Others gravitate toward you, not necessarily because you maintain a facade of perpetual happiness, but because you exude stability. You bring tranquility. You offer clarity. You serve as the anchor in a room where uncertainty reigns. This quality naturally positions you as a leader, regardless of whether you hold an official title. True leadership is grounded in influence, and nothing holds more influence than a steady, focused, optimistic person in a world rife with confusion. You emerge as an example, living proof that success is not the result of chance, but rather of mental preparedness. When people inquire about your calm demeanor, focus, or your resilience in the face of adversity, you will attribute your strength to deliberate practice. You will explain that you trained your mindset during difficult times, that you consciously chose your attitude amidst uncertainty, that you maintained your beliefs when others wavered, and that you persisted even when cheers were scarce. That is precisely the journey you are embarking upon now. You are cultivating a mind that no trial can undermine, a will that no individual can dishearten, and a purpose that no pain can derail. You are evolving into someone who requires no perfect conditions to thrive, because you have become the perfect condition for success. Therefore, do not grow weary. Do not yield when change appears stagnant. You are transforming, and your outcomes will ultimately align with your efforts. Life inherently responds to your attitude, so continue to speak power, act in faith, and think as though victory is an inevitable eventuality. Because, in truth, it is yours. You simply need to persist with a mindset that anticipates success, a heart that withstands discomfort, and a spirit that is resolute in refusing to quit. That is how you emerge victorious, particularly when the going gets tough. You do not fight with anger. You fight with vision. You do not propel yourself with frustration. You push forward with purpose, forging a path defined by a positive mental attitude that becomes the cornerstone of your unwavering success. Like, share, and comment to support our work and spread the message.